Welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben, and this is my review for The Monkey, the latest from Osgood Perkins. Everybody was really hyped about this movie because of Longlegs. And if you're expecting Longlegs this time round, I'm here to give you a warning. So, let's jump in. When two brothers, Bill and Hal, find their father's old monkey toy in the attic, a series of gruesome deaths start. The siblings decide to throw the toy away and move on with their lives, growing apart over the years. Okay, so here's my warning, and my top tip will come after that. My warning is this is not a horror. Think more Dale and Tucker versus Evil. It's that sort of gory horror moments, but it's more funny. There's a lot of laugh out loud moments. Well, at least we were all chuckling. It's very unusual for a British audience to hear them laughing. And as usual, the British audience are probably the last to watch this movie because for some reason, licensing issues or whatever, we get films much later than everybody else. So I believe this has been out for at least a week in the US, but I managed to watch it at a screen unseen or something from View Cinema. And so it comes out here in the UK on Friday. But let me tell you, go into this with the understanding that this isn't a horror. There are horror aspects of it, there's gory bits in it, but that doesn't make horror. This is a lot funnier than people were expecting. If you're expecting Longlegs, it's not that. It's not that sort of mystery. It's not that sort of thriller or even really that sort of atmosphere. This is Osgood having fun with the genre. It's almost Final Destination meets Dale and Tucker. That's probably the best way I could describe this film. Does that mean it's not good? No, I actually think this is a really good... If you're trying to find your way into Osgood Perkins, this is a really good kind of stepping stone into the wheelhouse that is Osgood Perkins. Because the previous films, like Longlegs, it took me a couple of watches to really understand what that film was. And I recently watched The Black Coat's Daughters, or whatever that's called. Here in the UK, it's called February. I recently watched that, and that's a slow burn horror and doesn't quite have the payoff that Longlegs does, but you can see where Osgood Perkins had the idea of building an evil from. You see all the building blocks, and now we have the fun bit. And I would say Theo James, if you're going in expecting to see a lot of Theo James, this film is patience again. Before we see Theo James, it's like halfway through the film, there's a lot of building blocks. We get to see two young kids who are the recipient of this monkey and the weird story that ensues that is based off a short story from Stephen King. And we also have the producer, James Wan. So it's got all these like horror alumni, and it's crafted very well. It also doesn't outstay its welcome. It's nice, quick, and done, but it does feel to drag a little bit in the middle. And if you get bored of kind of storytelling that's the building block of this movie, I think you're going to find this one not in your wheelhouse. A lot of people will come out of this film quite disappointed because it's not Longlegs. It's not a horror. There are definitely gory moments, but every time there's gory moments, for the most part, everybody in my cinema was laughing. Not barely laughing, but laughing at the deaths that take place in this. If you've seen the trailer, you've probably seen a lot of the kills. There's the tease trailer that's probably going to be good enough for you. But unfortunately, the trailer does show a lot of what's in the film. However, the moments that lead up to it add for a little bit of tense moments, some creepy moments. It's again one of those creature creations that can probably be added to those doll movies that people don't want to have in their household, like the Annabelle doll. You definitely don't want to have this creepy monkey in there. And if you see it, run away. If you hear that score that comes with this monkey, you'll know it when you hear it. It's going to creep the hell out of you. And I think these toy sales are going to go skyrocketing again just to creep people out. It is a lot of fun, though. It works as a comedy gore fest. Just go in with that mindset. I really like the framing of shots to make it feel creepier in moments, draw you into those character moments, and then you get really nice explosive gore that you're expecting. You see the setup sometimes, but you can't wait for it to happen. It's that sort of film done well. Now, my top tip for this is if you're one of those that kind of walk out of the screening as soon as the credits roll, You should have learned something now by what Marvel has kind of instituted into Hollywood. It seems to be everybody likes to put something towards the end of their movie. Now, thankfully, this one doesn't do an end credit sequence to suggest there might be a sequel, or perhaps a kind of comedy moment reflecting back. Sometimes films do that. Instead, what Osgood Perkins does here is give us a teaser for the next upcoming movie from Osgood Perkins. So I think that's a really clever marketing ploy. It rewards you for sitting through. You also get a little score moment at the end before the teaser trailer plays. So I had no idea that that was a thing that people do now, but I like that marketing idea. So all in all, I actually think this is a much easier kind of stepping into this world. If you like this film, then you might want to go a little bit darker with Osgood Perkins. It's very much in the sort of style, the wheelhouse. You can see the director's influences in the storytelling, but it's a very different take on what they've done before. So let me know your thoughts and feelings. Are you going to go check this out? Go in with that caveat, knowing it's not a horror. Us here in the UK comes out officially on Friday, I believe, and I don't know how many people are going to see this, but I do know a lot of people are going to come out of it being really disappointed because it's not what they expected. Everybody in my cinema, though, seemed to thoroughly enjoy it, especially when we got to those really, really interesting Final Destination deaths. Those were the fun bits that everybody was kind of really enjoying their popcorn with. There were a few squeals of, gross, but everybody was having fun with it. So I'm going to give this 3.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5.
You got one.
Let me know your thoughts and feelings. Don't forget, stay to the end of the credits if that's something that you like to do. Support everybody, the cast and the crew, and you can see what it takes to make a feature film. Everybody knows by now how much work it takes to make a movie like this, especially that isn't in the superhero wheelhouse. An indie film, support film as best you can. Go and see it at the cinema with a full house if you can, because that zeitgeist of everybody watching it together is definitely more fun that way, especially for a movie like this. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being a part of the Ruby Tuesday. If this is your first time here, check out the membership. If this is your second time here or your millionth time here, have a look at joining the different tiers I have. I've got new content going up in there weekly now, exclusive reviews, early access content, and so much more. Tomorrow night, depending on when you're watching this, but tomorrow night, UK time, midnight, I'll be live streaming my watch along with the Netflix's doing the SAG Awards. It's the 31st SAG Awards, I believe, the Screen Actors Guild Awards, and I know there's a few people looking forward to joining me on that live stream, so look out for that. If you're anywhere else in the world, it might be a better time for you, but in the UK, it's going to start at midnight, so I look forward to seeing some of you guys there. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long on Tuesday.